starting here? Yeah. You know what? I thought that was a really great presentation. There were some general comments where it was kind of academic. You know, like exactly how you're going to execute, and the leap between, you know, the size of this huge market and then where you think you're going to sell to. I don't think the dots were really well connected between those. It wasn't really clear to me where the application was. There wasn't a lot of discussion about where, you know, competitors were on a sort of a more granular level. My sense is this is probably kind of a capital-intensive business, and I'm a little bit skeptical about, you know, that you probably need 10 times as much money to continue to work. But overall, I thought it was really quite well done.
Strong presentation, great slides. Your evaluation, when I do simple math, is floating around 9 million, which is unbelievably preposterous in this market. You could take 5% of that, and even that might be a little on the optimistic side. Your investment offering was unnecessarily complex. I loved the prop. I didn't understand what these two gentlemen were doing.
Q&A.
Pinchman.
Yeah.
I'm pretty technical questions.
Yeah.
If you got it, understand. Thank you.
That was a great presentation, guys.
Thank you.
Me not being quite a numbers person, when I see all that numbers at the back, they light up the screen, I was just like taken back by it too. But then again, that's why I rely on numbers people to help me out with my daily work, right? So, risks, like for your production, like can you give me an idea of some of the risks that you have to face for production?
Basically, the main risk would be that we get delayed within our R&D and actual development of the models, right, to finalize and testing. So, because within the after we're done, immediately we want to start producing units, and since these are high margin units, we can become profitable within the first we're profitable right off the bat, but we have a break even within the first 3 months of production. So in this situation, the major setback would be that we not finished R&D and development in time. So that's one, and also delays in the mass production that we plan to set up overseas in our offshoring, because it is essential to produce enough units to sell, would also be a major setback. But we based our numbers for the sales and marketing on competitor numbers, which are actually conservative versions of those. So basically, this would be the worst case scenario.
Yeah, I thought it was a good-looking presentation. Honestly, I didn't believe it. You know, I just don't know how you can plan on being breaking into any segment of the avionics industry for $1 million, let alone sort of dominating it the way that you have planned to here. But you know, I like the price points for sure. You know, if you can actually get that price point on the lower model, I'll take one just to sort of keep track of my grandkids and what they're doing.
Thank you.
Did you get that order?
Well, maybe you want to hear my feedback first, because I would focus. You've got these three products, and you're looking at launching them within 3 or 4 months of each other. It looked that way to me. I would pick the one with the best value proposition for the best commercial application and build it, and ignore the other two. And so you may not be making hits, but it's tough to be all things to all people, and so that would be my advice. And it wasn't clear what the patentability of your device was.
Well, basically for the different devices, we make the gas-powered one, and the other one's a derivative of it, right? So basically, just smaller versions, and they require less R&D because we've already done the stabilization and all of that for the gas-powered. So it's easy to develop the other ones, and if somebody wants to make and order it, because we will be doing the order-based system, they can. So they have the option. And on top of that, what was the other second?
The patentability.
Oh, the patentability. Yeah, since these are basically helicopters, like smaller versions, right? It's very hard to patent other than the design patent. We can get design patents on this to limit people from directly copying our designs. And our other main barriers to entry would be constant R&D and advancement in our own technology to keep ahead of the competition.
And it was a good answer. And the valuation is out of line. I did kind of at $6 million, but It's too high.
They always say that.
Okay, it's here.
I thought it was great, really, I thought it was great, really interesting. The presentation was well organized. $1 million, what's your burn monthly?
Oh, approximately the first month we have, first month we have approximately 50 to 60,000.
Okay.
First few months, and that's including the R&D costs and very low salaries. We're not going to take much money for it.
Yeah, I think, like everybody said, you're going to need a lot more money to build this.
Right. Because we have half of at least this model done, and we can start selling this as soon as possible. It also commands a very high margin,
Great.
because our cost for building this thing for components alone is just 2,000, right? So that's 8,000 on top of that.
Are there any regulatory issues? Like,
Right,
you're
there-
wildly successful, you have all these things to train people?
No. We do offer a training program to, master the controls of this device.
Yeah.
Because of course they're expensive. And the regulations basically continue to data transmission, and I believe how you can, I guess the engineers would know this better.
Yeah, we do need a license for the pilots, but it's all like for example, our competitors, they already have the selling to the police department in states, and so they already get approved by UC, what's that? That's the federal aerial department.
Would your device have, would your system have to be approved?
Yeah, we do need to be approved, and we will do that while we do the development.
I think that's going to go back to needing more cash. Just anything that has to be approved by some manufacturers. But it's really good.
Yeah, once we get approved, the license is not going to be hard for pilots to get a license.
Yeah.
A question for the tech guys. Okay, you engineers, you always promise you can do it better and cheaper. What's your secret sauce? Why are you guys coming out of the weeds with something that's going to be so much better and you can build it cheaper than what's already on the market?
Because the current market for the UAV is mainly for military, so they are actually pricing very high. They are actually getting very high benefit.
So they're just ripping the military off and you're going to build the same thing and try to
Of
lower
course,
price point?
our UAV is not like as have the high performance as UAV, the military one, but we are emphasized for the market for the civilian market. So maybe for commercial usage. So yeah, that's why we think we can build good enough UAV suitable for our market, and it's affordable for everybody.
Yeah. So is there an existing demand within those markets? And that's,
Yes, as you can see, we got a lot of opportunities from Wall Street, and we also contact lots of other construction companies. Like for example, one big engineering construction company in Vancouver, that's TNC Leveling. So they're doing their power planning division. They need a helicopter for the power line planning. So for the observation or the study of the geometry of the route. So yeah, we contact their engineers, and they're sure our UAV is very beneficial for them, because they are spending lots of money for renting a real big helicopter. But we are offering a much cheaper and solution for them, and our UAV can be fly for much longer time. They can take forever, they can take no matter how long they want to study for the geometry, the route. Yeah, and once they get the products, they get it. They can use it for forever.
better cut it off there. Thank you very much.